Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $20 tier grants the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. All around you. And welcome back to another episode of the fastest growing podcast in the world, including Barbie Land.
Including Barbie Land?
No, they don't have internet, or electricity, so they're all kinds of fucked up. But welcome to another episode of the Filmistines. We are excited today. We're excited every day. Are we excited every day?
No.
All right. That sounds about right, actually. You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a special episode of a random movie, of a timely movie, of an old movie. Well, much appreciated. It'll be much appreciated if you come by and listen. I'm joined today by my Barbie playing friend, prefers brats, Lucy.
I'll take that.
All right. That's all I got right now.
All right.
Today we will be covering, this is probably our fastest Get Out. The one before this must have been Mario, but we'll be covering Barbie, which just came out a few days ago. It's making all the money, even from us. It's directed by Greta Gerwig. It's her nudist.
Her nudist?
Her nudist.
Whoa.
It's her newest outing after Little Women. And she also directed Lady Bird, of course, which is her best film. Even after the much anticipated Barbie. I don't think I've ever seen a film so advertised to death through everything. It's everywhere you look, Barbie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how advertised Mario was compared to this, but I don't know if it was that big.
Yeah, I feel like Mario was just kind of a regular released movie. I don't know. Did it even have cups at the theater? Special cups like you were talking about? I don't know.
Think so. I think I got a Coke Zero when we went to go see it. And we didn't see it opening weekend. We saw it maybe, the next week or something. And, I didn't get a Mario cup. I think also a good indicator of that is what toys are at
McDonald's?
fast food. Yeah, McDonald's.
Yeah, I know there were some Star Wars toys at McDonald's during the movies and stuff, and I think there was some Shrek things, but I really don't remember a lot of overlap with McDonald's toys and movies. I was never a toy person at McDonald's, I guess.
Oh, I definitely was.
That's worth noting. I really don't have any memories of any of the toys.
Yeah, I think I definitely was a McDonald's toy kid. I remember back when I think there were Polly Pocket toys at one point that I remember. Definitely Incredibles. When the Incredibles movie came out, I think I had all those toys.
You had every Incredibles toy? That's right. You talked about having a lot of Frozones.
Yeah, Frozen was the big one. Or the one that
you had 15 of.
Yeah, and then you had one, Dash or whatever.
Yeah, Dash was the rare one. Well, this was one of my most anticipated films of the year. This is probably was my top 5. We've seen it now. Probably was in your top 5 too.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Mario was at the top, and then Barbie was second or third.
Okay. Yeah, of course my most anticipated was Beau is Afraid. But Barbie was definitely up there. I wouldn't really know how to divvy up a second. Maybe Oppenheimer, and I guess that's kind of timely as well and ironic because they released on top of each other, which is interesting because we don't get a lot of big blockbuster style movies. I don't know what a fucking blockbuster movie is because there's no one waiting outside and there's I don't know. There's seats. You're gonna see it if you want to see it. I don't really.
Yeah.
And then Netflix says that all their movies are blockbuster movies, and there's no waiting in line for that, and they're not even good. So I don't even know. But Yeah, these two movies definitely are interesting because they're coming from major directors. Greta Gerwig is stepping up. She's come out with another really interesting movie, and Christopher Nolan, of course, is coming out with his 15th movie. So, and of course, it's not gonna make money. Oppenheimer is not gonna make money. We are here today to talk about Barbie. We're shooting from the hip here today. We don't have a lot of time to. We're trying to get this out sooner, so maybe we can ride the waves with Ken.
Nope.
Well,
no, okay. All right. I'll give it to you.
This movie is the most anti-feminist movie I've ever seen. How do you like that?
I mean, I definitely agree. It's the most all over the place feminism movie I've ever seen too.
Greta Gerwig does not like what feminism has evolved into, does she?
What do you mean?
Like modern feminism and what it's kind of amounted to, and how we've lost sight of what feminism was and should be.
Sure.
I was talking about the multiple waves of feminism.
Okay. I see what you're. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
because she starts off the movie obviously in Barbie land, right? Ran by women, naturally so, right? Barbie's queen here.
Yeah.
And they all are just, along with the Kens, of course, but the Barbies they all have jobs, but they don't do their jobs. They don't actually have jobs. They're just there, pretending to have jobs. Flag of some sort, number one. It's like, okay, that's funny, right? A little bit of nice absurdism here, of course, obviously, because we're in a real, like a physically realized kind of Barbie world, which is awesome looking. Definitely the star of the show is the different sets we get.
Yeah.
And soundtrack, too. I think the soundtrack is really cool in this film.
It's
more of I guess a lot of the pieces are kind of just original songs made for the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember the soundtrack very well. I guess besides the songs they sing in the car and then, Ken singing.
Yeah.
But that was about it.
Did you like this film?
It was okay. I like Barbie Land. I like the world that they created here. I like how many Barbies and Barbie toys were implemented here, and kind of Barbie, I guess, things, how you kind of play with Barbies. You don't walk Barbie down the stairs of her house. You make her just jump off the roof, and they kind of play with that a little bit. So I really like that. And the toys themselves, you had your rollerblades for your Barbies, and then you had all this fake food, and even the fridge. When she opened the fridge was just the sticker of the food background, which that's what it was. You didn't have fake food in the fridge. You just had the sticker. And then on the door you had, where you could put the fake orange juice or whatever it was. So I really like all those really playful elements. The dog that poops out little tiny turds as it rolls around. They even brought, what's her name? Midge, is that her name? Pregnant Barbie. And that was pretty cool, because if you had one, if you had any of these things, you could kind of connect with the, not with the movie, but you could connect on some level with the world here. You could appreciate it, even the car and the bikes and the planes. You had all those toys. So, that was pretty cool. That was awesome. Even when they brought the ambulance on the beach, they opened it up like it was a toy and brought Ken there, and they're like, okay, and in 2 seconds you're gonna be healed. All right, you're healed. So that was probably the best part of the movie, and not to mention all the costumes, the clothes.
Of course.
That was awesome. And how they just they changed every other scene. They had a new outfit on, which was fucking awesome, because that's what you did. You dressed up your Barbie all the fucking time. But as far as the plot, or maybe the message this movie was trying to get across, I wasn't here for it. It was just okay. I wish they would have gone in another direction and made it a little bit more of a, maybe like a feel-good kid movie. But they definitely didn't go in that direction. This is not a kid movie.
Or it's at least not for kids.
Yeah, at least not for
They'd be
kids.
bored out of their minds.
I was bored out of my mind, so I guess I'm a child. But, I don't know. I think I wish that would have been done differently.
Yeah, I don't think it was narratively all that sophisticated, like something like Beau's Afraid, to get your mind really just working on a, philosophical kind of essay style level. Like, it's just, I don't know, it didn't really, it tapped into being too stupid.
Yeah.
To really get you going, especially, I like the Barbie World or Barbie Land?
Barbie Land.
So Barbie Land. It taps into the too stupid when, from the get-go of the movie. And then when she leaves, we go into this reality sort of place, real sort of place. It's, I guess, in California or whatever. And they show up and, they're all getting looks and stuff and everything. And from the get-go that this place, it's not real. It's not the real place. It's not supposed to be the natural California world where humans are operating stuff. Because first and foremost, the last place people are going to get looks at for wearing anything is fucking California.
Yeah.
So, and then, the moment we get involved in with Mattel in any way, we see these fucking jail cells of, where cubicles, and you're just like, oh shit, this is not the real world. We got like this, like a smidge of kind of absurdism here happening.
Yeah. And then, the fact that they were so quick to accept that a Barbie escaped from Barbie Land.
Yeah. Good point.
You kind of figure that it's not quite the real world.
Yeah. And the fact that who's like in quotes in charge of Mattel is kind of gives into like, we're not dealing with a real group of people here. They're all just like, they're not even caricatures. They're just like this fucking entourage of corporatism that doesn't really have any personality or anything. Of course, Will Ferrell is the head of that. I mean, of course he is. I mean, I don't like Will Ferrell, as we might hear more and more throughout different episodes. I don't know if we're ever going to cover another Will Ferrell movie voluntarily, unless he just happens to be in something I really want to see. He will just have to happen. If he's the main, I'm not watching it. Unless someone writes in and wants us to watch it, then I'll be happy to. In that case, if you want to hear me bitch about Will Ferrell, but I think this actually fits him really well, and it's in a way making fun of himself because he's the epitome of stupidity in our world, our real world. I think Will Ferrell is just, he's on his own level of just insane stupidity, and it is what it is. That's fine. That's, he's not everyone's cup of tea, right? Some people love Will Ferrell. Some people love Step Brothers or whatever. That's fine. More power to you. But I do kind of appreciate and like that he is here to represent the guy, the main operator of Mattel, and specifically Barbie, because it kind of, if the weird looks and catcalling or whatever and cubicles didn't fucking sell you for this is an absurdist world, Will Ferrell better, or else you're not paying attention. And so it starts to make this, I feel like you start to have a hard time trusting anything that comes out of this movie. And then I guess not to mention the narrator themselves is making fun of what happens in Barbie Land, or I guess they kind of make fun of specifically Barbie, because at one point they say that Margot Robbie probably wasn't the best choice to get whatever message across when she was crying and stuff.
That she was ugly, or she wasn't beautiful anymore or something. Yeah. It's like not mixed messaging, but it's just, I feel like Greta Gerwig is trying to get the point across that you almost can't trust any like pre-existing kind of ideology on the matter of how gender fits into society or something, like you did. And I feel like, I guess we kind of get that gets a little bit of a home run, in that you just need to kind of figure out your own way by the very end with Barbie and the inventor of Barbie. Yeah. I think, she's with that little ending with Barbie and the inventor, she's trying to show us that, you know, we're all human. We all experience different emotions, different things, and it's kind of hard, and it kind of fucking sucks to be a human. And then you have all this shit thrown at you with, you know, patriarchy and feminism and genders and all this stuff, and how that we're even bringing it more on ourselves to live a fucking harder life than we already are. So, you know, maybe all this, you know, mixed messaging, or however you would like to phrase it, because it's not exactly mixed messaging.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like mixed messaging. Like, it doesn't. I feel like we're getting the right, or it's not getting messy. I guess it's not mixed in a soup kind of way. We've got a mixed salad. It's not all blended up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean that's life. You know,
that's life.
That's how everyone experiences everything. And, you know, I guess as a woman.
Wait, you're a woman?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
Damn. I'm on a podcast with a woman. Let's go.
Now women can be on podcasts.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. What
were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, like, as a woman, you know, you think about all these things all the fucking time. And then you don't, because some of these aren't even applicable to you. And then you're kind of getting it.
Which is an important point.
Yeah, and we can go back on it.
Yeah.
But it's I'm just trying to say it's a lot, and then it's not a lot, and then it's kind of fed to you that it should be a lot, but then when you live your everyday life, you're just kind of living. So it's kind of stupid, really.
You made me think of the dualistic kind of lifestyles we get in Barbie Land, and at some point it turns to kingdom, right?
Yes.
Kingdom.
I think he.
Which is cute.
I think he changed it. I think he did. He said one, and
then
it changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I guess that made me think of one thing. I like that the things that happen there without the CEO and everybody's control, like without, you know, them saying anything, things there influence what's happening in the Barbie industry. I liked that we saw a little snippet of that, but that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say I like the two different realities we get where the Barbies are in charge, in quotes, because no one's kind of in charge when the Barbies are in charge. It's just kind of it's just how the Barbies are, how they were first invented, and how like society said that this is how things were going to be, so this is it, and then no one ever questioned anything until, I guess, stereotypic Barbie.
Yeah.
But then I like how when Ken gets in control, now the Barbies actually have purpose, and it's to serve the Kens. They didn't have purpose before. The Kens didn't have purpose either. Everyone was just kind of being the best they could. But now the Barbies have purpose, which is just kind of interesting to me. What do you think about that? Because now they actually have jobs, and it's to satisfy the Kens. However you feel about that's, you know, one thing or another, I guess. But they actually have jobs now. They didn't have jobs before. They went to work or whatever, and like the most work we saw, I guess, was the hospital, the ambulance that pulled up, and then, you know, but they even kind of trivialized that, like, oh, you're good.
Yeah.
You're cured. There's no actual work here to be done. But it's just kind of funny because, you know, that one of my favorite parts of the movie is actually I like every part that has to do with that guy that kind of looks like Drake with eyebrows.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know his name, but
yeah.
You'll know who I'm talking about with those eyebrows. Everything to do with him I like because he's kind of a funny character. There was one instance where the Barbies were trying to steal the other Barbies to, you know, re-brainwash them into like filling this role of like having no use, which is just kind of ironic that they went from being more or less like traditional housewives, some kind of slavery maybe, and, you know, kind of thing, however you want to look at it. Housewives, slavery, what's the difference, right? But he's sitting there. One of the Barbies asks, like, I've never seen The Godfather or something. And he just goes on this little quick tangent of, you know, oh, well, you know, you don't know this, and this about whatever. I've never seen The Godfather either. So, you know, so we're good there. So I'm not a man. So what that means?
Yeah. I guess there's 2 women on this podcast.
Damn, that's funny. Good job. That's funny. But it's just kind of funny because that in that instant we have one of the more intellectual things to happen in Barbie Land, and that very small instance of them trying to remanipulate, or to get the Barbies away from the Kens to re-brainwash them into whatever ideology they fucking want. But we get this like small instance. I don't know anything about the Godfather, and he's like, he goes on, yada yada yada, and it's just, I don't know. I think it's fucking weird that they would. I don't know. I think that's a weird. I think that the whole Ken world thing is just kind of a funny thing. I don't know what to call it. It's just. It just, I guess it ultimately kind of feels like they're making fun of third wave feminism, and that women should only listen to other women, maybe.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You follow me? Because that's the most intellectual things we get are when Kens are in charge. Yes or no? Not very many instances happening, I guess, as far as like in Barbie Land and Kingdom. Not happening in the so-called real world.
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of break it up into 3 acts, you have the first act, which is just, Barbie Land is perfect the way it is. And, everyone's just kind of living day to day.
Doing nothing.
Doing the same things over and over again. And then, you have when Barbie and Ken go into the real world. And then, you have back to Barbie Land with Kingdom taking charge. So it would kind of make sense that the most interesting things do happen towards the end when the Kens take over, because they have to happen.
But I think they make it a point in the first act when they're in Barbie Land that nothing of substance is happening anywhere, like when they're in the pink White House, the president.
Yeah.
And she's, like she asks questions and then she says, no comment or something like that. It's because she doesn't have any thoughts to even to bring out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that kind of thing. The dualism is just, it just screams like, these kinds of women drive me crazy, or something from Greta Gerwig, and that she is just, I mean, I can't really get a sense of embarrassment or anything. I mean, I would be if I was a woman, to be embarrassed by, someone thinking that women should be treated like in any kind of superior way, or should be kind of just I don't know how to fucking say it. I'm not smart enough for this. I don't know enough about feministic shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either.
It's like a fake outrage type thing, because the first and only important wave of feminism was the first wave of feminism where we wanted equal rights and opportunities. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Full stop.
Yeah, that's where it should have stopped.
I think that's the only real place. I think it did stop there. We're just kind of dealing with the people not being satisfied with how big the snowball is now. We want the snowball to be bigger. We want more women here, there, and we want more women at doctors. With doctors, we want more women in academics. We want more women in politics. But these things take time, as the word progression implies. And so I think that's where you introduce kind of phase 2 of women, feminism, and then now in phase 3, feminism. And I think anyone who studies just the history of any kind of society, especially modern society, I think you just will notice that things take time and you can't really accelerate progress. And I think when people get that, they're annoyed, like Greta Gerwig is with modern feminists, neo-feminists. So I just think I just can't get away from the thought and feeling that she's hardcore making fun of neo-feminists in the first act of this film. And then the second act kind of echoes maybe a sense of the second wave, where are all the women working, which is the big part of second wave feminism, where we need to integrate more women into places, where as many places as we can. Kind of starts to smell like diversity for diversity's sake, what we kind of later see today. And then the last act, actually echoes maybe the first wave of feminism. Maybe there's something here. See what I'm building here? Where Barbie, our Barbie, Margot Robbie, kind of embodies, no, none of this is right. This is all actually kind of absurd and just completely idiotic. We should just look at people like the inventor of Barbie, right? And find ourselves and not be happy with just how things are, in quotes, kind of supposed to be. And, because she's coming from a super supposed to be preconceived type living style, because she's stereotypic Barbie from Barbie Land. And how many years did she live doing the same thing over and over and over again? I mean, doing nothing. She didn't do anything. She didn't eat. She just said hi Barbie all day to people.
Yeah.
And hi Ken occasionally. And then the Kens were, they're a whole funny thing on their own right, that their whole purpose is to just to be in the eyesight, the eye line of a Barbie. You see what I'm saying? Is this making sense?
Yeah, that's making sense.
Which I didn't think about that, the act thing kind of matching and echoing the waves of feminism earlier, but I can see something to that. And I know you want to talk about the scene where the Kens sing to the Barbies. It's just a weird, deeply I don't know how people are receiving it. Maybe you do. You can maybe tell me more about that here in a little bit. But the irony of what maybe happened there when the Kens were singing to the Barbies and the Barbies were looking at their phones and they were like, "Who you texting?"
Yeah, I just think it's funny that some of these things they made Ken, I guess, feel and react to. They were just kind of funny to me because I've maybe never experienced, a previous boyfriend or a previous relationship kind of reacting to things that way more than I've seen women reacting to things that way. So specifically in that scene, when Ken is like, "Who are you texting?" He's so annoyed because here he is trying to sing Barbie a song for 4 hours, and then Barbie's just texting somebody, and then she laughs and kind of, she's playing with him. But
you'd expect women to behave that way.
I think I've just seen more women behave that way than I have men.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, also, I don't know, it's also kind of making fun of just how girls are especially quick to pull out their phone when things are awkward or something. I feel like girls are much quicker to pull out their phone than a guy. I don't know about awkward, but just kind of like, they're bored for a split second, here's the phone. But I don't know, we're so attached to our phones.
I think a lot of people are too attached to their phones to say that.
It's hard to generalize because there's too many billions of phones out there. And you'd probably see a 50-50 split of people who do that, so.
Yeah, like I said, maybe I've just socialized myself with different types of people.
Yeah.
Specifically different types of guys that don't react that way, So I don't know. But
yeah.
it was just funny.
It is funny.
Because here's Ken all obsessed with Barbie, but I've also seen a fair share of girls being, obsessed. And their life cannot have any kind of significance or meaning if that person does not say hi to them or doesn't answer their phone call or whatever,
Yeah, I feel like there's more of a deeper stereotype there, though, with girls, too. Because when we have a whole joke, I guess, about girls going to college to get their MRS degree just to get married, they go to those links to fill up that kind of purpose. It's just like, it's funny, especially if it happens, but it's just like, damn.
I mean, it's also fine if that's what.
That's fine, yeah.
If that's what you want to do, that's completely fine. It's just, I don't know. I just thought it was funny that you're giving a guy all those stereotypes when women
are just
women
as bad.
Do the crazy shit too.
Yeah, they're just as bad. Yeah, and I guess I say that about the phone too, because at least in in movies they wanted you. They kind of became a stereotype where the teenage girl would always be on her phone at the dinner table or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, as time goes on, it's kind of impossible to say one or the other, isn't it? It's also kind of funny just him singing to her because so many guys think that's a charming thing to do, and it's only probably top 3 most cringe things to do to a girl.
Holy crap!
To
Yes.
play the guitar at them specifically.
Yeah. I mean I've been there in high school. I had a guy play the guitar over the phone.
Over the phone
For like it was like 30 minutes straight. You know, good thing he didn't fucking sing, because that would have been
it's too much.
But
It's so bad.
and
it's
then
so
you
bad.
know, you get back on the phone when they're done, and what do you say, you know?
Nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no. That's where that ended pretty much.
This movie's overrated, isn't it? I'm seeing a lot of glowing reviews. I'm really trying to not read too much into them because I'm trying to find out in me where to place it and if it's any good. And it's got some there's a lot I sort of like here, but it's not a great film. It's not great. It's not a an 8, 9, 10 out of 10 kind of film, is it?
I don't think so.
I want to like more. I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling. I want to like more about this film. But it just doesn't seem to care to say too much. It's a little too dumb, isn't it? It's just I can't get past it.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a film that requires a second watch to maybe appreciate, or maybe, you know, a watch at home without any kind of distractions from, you know, a kid kicking me in the fucking back.
Did that happen?
Yeah, that happened. And I just like looked up and kind of glared at the kid, but you know, it's a kid. Kids aren't meant to sit for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, for this boring ass movie. Like, don't take your kid. Yeah. I was bored.
They should have done some more research, because I'm sure there's thousands of reviews out there saying this. Oh, I don't know about bringing your kids up here. I did see something.
I've seen some, yeah.
Saying to not bring your kids?
Saying this is not a movie for kids. Don't take them. Either, you know, the messages are too adult, or they're going to be bored because there's only very few scenes where your kid's actually going to be engaged.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes.
And then, you know, they kind of talk about the, like, sexualized, or sexual, I guess, kind of dialogue that's like said here a few times, and, you know, the bleeped out bad words and whatnot. I heard a parent going off on that and how that should have been warned, and then someone replied saying, well, it is a PG-13 movie, and you can go look at the fucking rating and see why it's a PG-13 movie, so don't take your kid.
You were warned.
Yeah. So I don't know. So, you know, maybe it does require a second watching.
Maybe. I don't think
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
You know, I really liked Barbie Land. I liked everything about it, and I liked how playful they were with, you know, these characters being, you know, made out of plastic. They're dolls. You know, when Barbie falls to the floor, she doesn't just collapse to the floor. She has to kind of bend her way to the floor and then kind of turn, and then, you know, it's pretty funny. And, you know, maybe the plot here was trying to be funny too, along with some of this other stuff, but it just wasn't for me. And especially, you know, the feminism crap from today is also not worth getting into or arguing about.
Yeah, it's a what they say, a zero-sum game where if you argue with someone about that, you're the problem.
Yeah, I think so.
Women can't even argue it anymore because
no one can.
They're brainwashed by the men. You know, only women who agree with women can argue with it.
No, I don't even think women who agree with women can argue it, because even then, you're not gonna agree on everything.
Yeah,
there's too many things out there. And if you're like-minded, you know, if you're smart, like-minded individual women, independent women, then you have to agree on everything, I guess. So it's kind of silly. It's too silly to me. I kind of wish this movie would have taken on more of a I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's Tyra Banks did a similar movie called Life Size, and she's a Barbie doll, and she comes to life, and she kind of helps this little girl get her confidence, and kind of reunite with her dad. And it's been such a fucking long time since I've seen that movie, but it's it's your typical making a little girl feel good about herself, and being all cute with clothes and whatnot. And I thought this movie was going to go there a little bit when she goes to the weird Barbie that got played with too much, which I kind of like that. That was pretty funny. I wish they would have exaggerated the marker on her face way more, because when you're a little kid and you're drawing on your Barbie dolls, half her face is green. So I wish they would have played that up a little more on her costume.
Yeah, she didn't look that weird.
Yeah,
she looked like someone you'd see, and she didn't look weird at all. She looked kind of a normal modern person.
Yeah, she did. That's awful. Sort of, yeah. But yeah, when she goes and visits her, and we get this, glimpse of, your girl who's playing with you is causing you to have this. So I thought that's kind of where we were going with it. And we did a little bit, but in such a fucking weird way that she helped I don't remember her name, but tissue. America for whoever she plays. I don't have put up. She kind of helped her, I guess, get some of her confidence back. I don't know. That was implied at the end where she's like, well, I have an idea. Let's just make ordinary Barbie. It's like, okay. I guess, I don't know. I wish we would have gotten something else. And I thought they were going to go there when we got introduced with that there's a little kid out there playing with you. But no, we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't like that little B plot at all. I thought it was pretty bad and really kind of detracted from the rest of the movie, because that amounted to, America Ferrera getting a little bit of confidence back, and someone like her is not going to be without confidence in that way. She's designing Barbies, it sounds like, Yeah,
I don't know exactly what she was. It kind of looked like she was more of a receptionist, and she just drew stuff on the side. That's what I got out of it. They look
like pretty professional Barbie drawings, like what you'd imagine some kind of concept art room. But yeah, she was right outside of
that office. So I don't know.
But also, like, that kind of office, is that kind of office even going to have like a receptionist thing out front? Is that how that works? Because that was pretty high up,
I have no idea.
I mean,
if you're that high up, I think you do have a receptionist sitting outside your office to let people in or out. That's what I see in movies, but,
Yeah, I don't know.
Who fucking knows? And I guess, she did reconnect with her daughter in this weird-ass way.
Yeah, it's kind of lame. Her daughter sucked.
I agree.
Her daughter sucked, and she was okay. America Ferrera.
And then, she gives this big speech at the end, or close to the end, to make the Barbies snap out of whatever spell the Kens had on them. And that right there was kind of a killer for me. I don't know. I didn't agree with half the things she said. I didn't relate to half the things she said. The only thing I related to was when she said, we're all trying to be skinny, and but we gotta tell people we're just trying to be healthy. I'm like, yeah, okay. But I mean, that was just kind of funny, because that's what everyone does, not just women.
That's what I was gonna say. Is it sounds like she was trying the dialogue, at least, not her performance. Separate them for a second. Yeah, it felt like they were trying to kind of make fun of modernity, because she's saying this to Barbies. Like, Barbies don't know about this. This is like she's kind of saying this to herself. Like, there's just not, there's just, I don't know. It's like, I guess a little bit more of an absurdist type thing where, can you imagine someone saying this to a bunch of Barbies? Literally, a bunch of Barbies or a bunch of stuffed animals or something like that. It's like, it's kind of absurdist, right?
Yeah.
And depending on how old you are, it's kind of crazy. But the way she went about saying it, her performance felt a little too serious. But I think there was maybe some uneven kind of. I'm not sure what angle you're going for here, but like especially the healthy thing, that screams making fun of. Because how else are you gonna take that other than make fun of that, unless you're one of them.
Yeah.
And no one here is one of them, I don't think, because I don't know, this movie's a little bit of a mess.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Maybe it is a soup, it's not a salad.
Hmm.
But we end on that note, so it kind of helps put some things into clarity for sure.
It should have been made. I don't know. It's like it had a bunch of different themes that it wanted to run with, and then decided to let's just put all those themes into humans are complicated, especially women, and that's it. But then, not especially women, because you have Ken, and I mean, I think Ryan Gosling did a phenomenal job as Ken.
I think Ryan Gosling was the star of this movie,
too.
which is funny. Because it really wasn't his movie.
And I want one of those sweaters, hoodie, whatever he had on that said, I'm Kenough. Kenough.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm sure that's going to be merch.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah,
it's got to be. So.
Yeah, I thought he did a pretty good job. It is kind of funny. I thought everything to do with the Kens was actually probably more interesting and was a little bit more sensible in what they were trying to get across. I guess specifically the Barbie Land versus Kingdom. I just thought that's probably the main part that stuck out to me in this film, and that you had a more, at the very least, you had a more productive society in some form or another when Ken was in charge versus Barbie.
Yeah, I don't know about productive, but at least definitely interesting.
Well, productive, not necessarily in a positive way, but just there was more service going on. There was more thought going around.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You can have slaves and have a very productive society. In fact, you probably have the most productive society with slaves. You know what I'm saying? And these Barbies may have been somewhat enslaved, and I would have liked. Did we get an ounce of it? I couldn't really tell, but I was really curious. I thought they were going to go down that route, that when some of these Barbies got kind of re-indoctrinated into Barbiehood, I thought one of them was going to kind of relapse and be like, you know what? I want to serve my kin.
We did get that.
Wait, we did?
At the end.
What happened?
When, everybody's kind of like, yeah, I want to find myself, or whatever everyone was saying. One of the Kens was like, I just want to be with my girl. Yeah. And the girl was like, I just want to be with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and then
good.
They kind of...
Good.
Which, I like that they did that.
Yeah. Good. I forgot about that. I like that part where Margot Robbie's Barbie she had flat feet, and then the Ken and the like where the lifeguards are at, I guess, that little building, he started gagging.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny.
I like, I don't know if it was my favorite part. I don't think I have a favorite part besides all the fucking awesome, cool Barbie fake toys, like her convertible and the plane and the bikes and the, pooping dog and the skates and every item, I guess. That was fucking awesome. But other than that, I don't think I had a favorite scene, a favorite part. But one that stood out to me that made me laugh a lot was when America Ferrera's character and her daughter are trying to escape, and Alan is in the back, and they're trying to escape, but there's some like construction workers that won't let them pass through, and they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Alan. And he's like, and they're kind of like, who's Alan? And then I don't know what he says. I think maybe he says, I'm like with the Kens, I'm kind of a Ken, whatever. And then he says, his clothes fit me, which was just hilarious, because if his clothes fit you, you're compatible. So that kind of gives you a right. You're almost a Ken. It was funny.
Yeah, that's actually a funny part too, though, that they're building, like they're sort of constructing a wall. They may not have been doing it properly, but they were still doing more than any of the Barbies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm still confused on the fact that all these Barbies are getting played with little girls, or supposedly little girls. I mean, I guess little boys play with Barbies. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know?
does anyone play with Barbies today anyways?
Today, I don't know anyone that's playing with Barbies. I've tried to get Barbies for my nieces for Christmas and birthdays so many times, but
they don't give a shit.
Yeah, they're just not into Barbies.
They're like, give me that Roblox.
Yeah, well, I think the ones who are into dolls are into those Monster High and LOL dolls.
Oh.
So, it's not Barbie anymore. And I mean, same with me. I was towards like the later half of all the Barbie stuff. And I think the only reason I had a lot of Barbie stuff was because it's kind of was on the not its last leg, because Barbie's still very, out there in stores and popular, but everyone already had the Barbie stuff. So it was on sale a lot, or it was at yard sales. You saw
it's the basic toy,
Yeah, you saw a lot of Barbie stuff at yard sales. So, of course, I had a lot of it. My mom was a big yard sale goer. But I mean, I was into Bratz. Bratz were my thing.
Yeah. Bratz were the hot new thing.
So even I missed some of that. But so I thought that was going to be a bigger role. I thought they were going to have little girls playing with Barbies be a bigger role in this. Maybe towards the end, the Kens went crazy because somebody's little brother started playing with the dolls. I don't know.
That could have been fun.
That could have been so much more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, they really didn't play that up at all.
So I thought maybe that's why it was so perfect in the beginning, because the little girls were playing how you should play.
You're kind of begging the question, why are these Barbies? What's the point of the Barbie? You're not even treating them like what they are.
Like a doll, yeah.
There's no play here. So I can't tell you. I was wondering the same thing after we watched the movie. Why is this a Barbie movie? We don't really get into...
I mean, just Barbie the icon, I guess. Her as a doll supposedly created all these insecurities for women. I don't know. I never experienced I needed to look like my dolls.
That's definitely not true. That's like the other side of the coin for things like D&D and Magic the Gathering, where you just have people target these hyper, popular things that people just don't agree with or get.
Yeah.
And so they just demonize them.
Or like how video games lead to violence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know how many people I've killed?
2.
Yeah, too many.
Too many.
I play a lot of games. I kill lots of people. I hurt lots of people.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I fucking know it. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. And especially me playing with Bratz, I never wanted to look like that. I never wanted my foot to pop off or my head to be 3 times as big as my body.
It kind of makes you feel like people who say that, or when you think about people saying that, because I've never really heard people bitch about things like that other than Pokemon. I have come across a couple of families being like, Pokemon, made by Satanists. I'm like,
oh, yes.
Okay, is that are you saying that for a specific reason about Pokemon, or is it because they're made by the Japanese, or what is it? What's going on here? Let me hear about the... I wish I could have said that when I was 5, but what was I going to say?
I don't know, but that's funny you bring that up, because the proof is in when Pokemon Go was, was really big in 2016, 2017. A lot of churches didn't want their church to be a Pokestop. And they made such a big deal that I'm assuming somebody had to create a kind of complaint page to get your building removed as a Pokestop.
Endlessly ironic, right?
What do you say?
Endlessly ironic,
yes.
Right? What's the word? Communion?
Community?
All right.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go, man.
It's aren't churches real big into supporting the community?
Yes.
And I don't know if there has probably been a bigger phenomenon to bring people together than Pokemon Go specifically. I mean, even the original Pokemon, that was one of their big kind of marketing taglines, was to bring people together.
Yeah, I have never talked to so many strangers in my life than when I played Pokemon Go. I have never gotten in a group with people and then kind of gone somewhere else with them to go fight another raid. You're at the park and you're like, hey, there's a raid over there. Everyone goes over there, and then you talk to people, and then you find out they also don't have whatever Pokemon, and they also have another pass they can use for the day. So you're like, hey, let's meet up over there in Old Town or whatever, and then you go over there. And besides school, when else have you experienced that as an adult? It was awesome. You were talking to different kinds of people. I mean, people that were 3 times your age, maybe not 3, I mean possibly 3 times, I don't know, and like really, really young kids, and you were befriending everybody, and even people with like special needs. How many of those did we not see and kind of talk to?
Yeah.
I don't know about other people. You're a lot maybe nicer and braver than me, but I don't approach people. And even on top of that, I don't approach people that I'm not comfortable with. But this was a phenomenon. I mean,
unlike anything else.
Yes.
I think it had like something like 400 million downloads in the first month.
Holy crap. But then, you have churches over here not wanting that.
Yeah, it kind of exposes their gatekeepiness and their small sense of xenophobia, and they're afraid of what that's going to bring in because they're classists, they're racists, they're prejudiced, they're gatekeepers. Churches are, and we all know that. We were talking about the other day how certain churches will just, when you walk in, they judge the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And you can just tell by the way everyone looks at you.
Yep. So
The only tether to Barbie really was that women can be anything and have, well, we didn't really get into it, but in some kind of essence have equal rights and opportunity. You can't women can't really be, or at least American women can't really be astronauts because no one can, but because we don't give a fuck about exploring space. But we don't get into it's just, I don't know, we don't really get into the thing Barbie was trying to initiate in people's minds, or start in people's minds with, when little girls, you can be anything. And that happened in the midst of the first wave of feminism, which is cool and all. And, we saw a major company come out of that. I don't know if Barbie started out of Mattel or if Barbie was acquired by them, but we saw, one of those early hyper commercialized things that we still, at least Mattel will always be around, at least through our lifetime. Probably they're probably here to stay, but we're in like a next phase of capitalism. I can't remember what they call it exactly. And that we're dealing with these industries and products that are permanent. It's kind of hard to imagine. It's not. I mean, for us, it's not hard to imagine that because a lot of the things we fucked around, we mess with today, have been around much longer than we've been alive.
Yeah.
Right. Different companies and everything. Maybe not the products themselves, of course, but I mean, we are going to be at a point, where people are going to grow up with cell phones, and then by the time they're 30, 40 years old, they're going to be using virtually the same cell phone. I don't think cell phones are going to change very much. I don't think we're going to have implants in our head anytime soon. That'd be awesome. I'd love that. I hope
so.
I hope we do too. You won't lose your phone anymore.
Heck yeah. I lose my phone like 10 times a day.
I think that's pretty unrealistic. I hope I'm wrong.
Me too.
But it is a little silly. I feel like I want to like more about this movie, man. I really do. This taps into some things that interest me, but it just taps into the too stupid. It fits the Will Ferrell bill, It's just, it gets too stupid for me.
Yeah, like I said in the beginning, I wish they would have taken a different approach. Maybe a Toy Story approach. Maybe
like Margot Robbie's existential crisis is not even. It's nothing.
It doesn't fit.
It really doesn't. It's not. It just doesn't amount to anything. She's just this catalyst to take us places, and she's this toy who's becoming human, Or I guess we're realizing that, I mean, there's a small message there that you can just, if you think you're human, you're human. Is there some kind of trans identity thing happening here where that's kind of stupid in its own right.
Holy shit. I hope my cat doesn't ever think he's human.
Yeah, that's stupid.
He's getting a fucking job if he does.
Yeah, he is.
But I don't know. Maybe they should have taken it in a way with, maybe the progression of how a little girl plays with her toys. Something way fucking better. I started playing with dolls since I was like 2. Ever since I could walk and hold a doll, I was playing with dolls. And I played maybe, kind of embarrassingly with dolls up until I was like 12.
No, you good.
I remember on my 12th birthday, I was still getting dolls for birthday presents, and I was still playing with them.
Just don't forget our generation and people even older than us, 35 into the early 40s. These are the man children era. There are definitely people just like you getting dolls, even older than you getting dolls, and collecting them and everything.
Okay, well, collecting them, having them is completely different than still playing with them.
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
You think
because
so?
you're just displaying them, or you're just researching into them, but you're not actually taking the doll and playing with it, taking it with you to places. You're not stuffing it in your backpack to have your friend come with you to, your doctor appointment. Like, it's different. And I play with dolls until 12. So that's a long time. That's 10 years of playing with dolls. And, I'm sure I played with them way differently from when I started to, and as I got older, with different friends, different toys, different emotions.
Yeah.
Something there could have been way fucking better. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of missed the crux of the importance of this being Barbie. Because that's an important point. That's important. The play. So many things can represent, women being anything. I know that's like Barbie's thing, but that's just hyper commercialism.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's not.
They made a movie about hyper commercialism. Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, kinda, but they're trying to take some weird approaches to this messaging, and it gets a little lost, I guess.
I think so too. I think this movie was definitely a miss for me. I didn't have fun. I had fun maybe right before Barbie and Ken get to the real world. I had fun, and that was it. Which is the first 20 minutes maybe, and then it completely just lost me. If this was supposed to be an inspirational movie for women, or for everybody, or for kids, for little girls, I don't know. I definitely wasn't inspired. I think I was more inspired by Flamin' Hot than I was by Barbie.
Let's go Eva Longoria. Yeah, I don't think this was supposed to be inspirational. I really don't. I think it's supposed to make...
Which is what a Barbie movie should be, I think.
I think this movie...
inspirational.
I mean, I think that's probably a good thing to say. I think this movie maybe is supposed to make you laugh at the many different ways different women think about women in society, and how it's not that complicated. It like isn't that complicated, which is never a very good thing to say, because you sound very undecisive and like you don't have a thought in your mind. But I think that in itself is maybe a little important to the point of Barbie, because she doesn't really want... It's just kind of a funny thing. Like, Ken wanted more than her, and he got it, or he went for it, and he was like, "Well, I thought there would be more horses in patriarchy or whatever and stuff."
Yeah.
Our Barbie doesn't. She's kind of just... Is she an idiot?
I don't know, but as in the end scene, the end, where they're very much implying she's going to a job interview. They're like, "Are you excited for your first day?" or whatever, or "Good luck." I don't know what they were saying. Like she had just gotten a job, or she was going to a job interview, or something big, something important. And then it turns out she's just going to her gynecologist. It's like, what? w- that's so stupid. Which is fine if this was a stupid movie, and sounds like it is supposed to be a stupid movie, but I didn't sign up for a stupid movie. I guess maybe we need a Ken movie. We need a Ryan Gosling, Ken, doing something way more interesting than this.
Yeah. Greta Gerwig definitely made the Kens look superior in this. Through performance, through desire, through ability to have conflict and work it out with themselves. Have conflict with themselves and be able to work it out. She makes the Kens look pretty good.
Even their, music numbers and their dance numbers are so much better than Barbie's, all the Barbie's numbers, I guess.
She even calls out the Barbies getting on their phone and being rude as fuck, and the Kens being like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
If there's a side here, it's Team Ken, I think. Which,
yeah, I think this movie is too. It's just not enough for me and too stupid for me to even pick a side or to even, think about it, because, Ryan Gosling was great as Ken. That's about it for the characters. I mean, Margot Robbie, I think, was physically casted very well for a Barbie. She's this really gorgeous, tall, blonde person, which is what Barbie is. So, I mean,
it's kind of an insult to her that she was stereotypical Barbie.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious in its own right.
I don't know, but then you go back into all this kind of thinking, and are you kind of like, how should I phrase this? I don't know, but I think they did a great job with the Ken casting too. The other Kens, I guess. And the Barbies, none of them really stood out besides our main girl.
Even when they go into the so-called real world, Ken is on. He finds himself on this mission of being inspired and finding purpose and like wanting to bring this back to the Barbie land, and what would become Kendom. And Barbie's whole mission is just getting to a point where she can go back to her old life and not have to think at all.
And on top of that, she just realized or discovered that she can cry and she's emotional and all these, really funny things, I guess, about women cry and they're emotional and they get, called out. They get called, what did that little girl call her? I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but
she called her a fascist.
That's right. She called her a fascist. Yeah. Fascist.
I don't know what that's about.
That didn't make sense to me. And it made Barbie cry a lot. I don't know. This movie's just it's too stupid for me to even give a good review on.
It's because that in its own way might be making fun of just young people, young girls, just just full of outrage and calling people things that they don't even understand. Because that's all the internet is. It's all Twitter is. It's people being hateful.
Yeah.
And not thinking about what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't know any little teenage girls. My nieces are 11 and younger. But if I ever hear them start saying stupid shit, I'm going to smack them.
Atta girl. I like that.
Okay.
They better be using it in
correctly.
A funny way or correctly.
Yeah, correctly or in a funny way.
Not in a hateful way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm trying. I'm really trying here, you guys. I want to like this film more than I do. But it's just not, it's not working. But I am, I'm taking a sabbatical. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I can't. Sorry to be a man, I guess, but I can't help but to believe Greta Gerwig is taking sides with Ken a little bit. So, I think you told me earlier you've read some reviews about this. You got anything to share with me?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I saw something about Amy Schumer was supposed to be Barbie initially, So I lost all my pages on the reviews.
Amy Schumer was gonna be Barbie.
Yeah, back in 2017, I think she was gonna be Barbie. She was casted as Barbie, and she and the director, which was Sony at the time, or I guess Sony wasn't the director. What was Sony?
The bean counters, the money, the distributor.
Yes, and they didn't agree with. They had creative differences. I think I read something that she wanted this Barbie to be an inventor.
But Greta Gerwig was still involved?
No, she wasn't involved. They wanted Barbie to be an inventor, and they were like, okay, maybe she can invent some high heels made out of Jello or something. And Amy Schumer's like, that's so fucking stupid. No. And then she like just quit the project. And then there was talk about Anne Hathaway gonna be Barbie. But, you know, it's just funny because I guess when it was announced that Amy Schumer was going to be Barbie, people got a lot of, or she got a lot of hate on that. That's like, okay,
because
you
she looks
are
like
not
Miss
Barbie.
Piggy from the Muppets.
Basically, you know, you're not what I see Barbie as. And then now that Margot Robbie was, you know, back when Margot Robbie was announced, they're like, here we go. Now we have what Barbie should be, you know, whatever.
Well, that was a good call on Sony. I don't know if Sony ended up producing this, but
no, it was Warner Brothers.
It was Warner Brothers. That's funny. Yeah, Amy Schumer is someone who you put into a movie when you want to kill it. When you don't want the movie to perform, people hate Amy Schumer. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad that they didn't, but at the same time, I'm not glad what they did with this. So,
well, it sounds like this is better than what we would have gotten, but it sounds like this didn't really have any original vision. It sounds like Greta Gerwig may have sold out on some level, which is fine. Good job, Greta Gerwig. You are gonna be rolling in the money. Yeah, I think I saw online that this is the biggest opening for a movie directed by a woman.
Really? Yeah, there's just a lot of reviews about how happy and fun this movie is.
It's not fun.
I don't
think it's happy either.
I don't think so either.
Unless you think stupid is happy. Are we being gaslit here?
Maybe
we are a couple of women being gaslit.
We are.
Because only women can be gaslit. You feel me?
Yeah, I don't remember that review I told you. This lady said, "Oh, how I love being a woman. Barbie hit on so many real life problems. Maybe she feels like she has a very repetitive day-to-day, you know?"
Welcome to modernity. Welcome to reality. Welcome to living. Have you ever lived the life?
This girl said, "The Barbie movie is even better than I could have anticipated. It's every girl's understanding of the world, no matter their size, shape, or color. It captures the raw essence of womanhood while remaining funny and beautiful." What? Did we watch the same film?
It sounds like they're watching the animated Barbie movies.
Now those are good. I'm not gonna lie there.
That's funny.
This reviewer said, "It's exactly the modern feminist manifesto we needed as a society right now."
Well, that's kind of a terrible thing to say because it's making fun of the lack of manifesto that modern feminists have today.
Oh my gosh, this was, I guess, 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Was the movie even out? So somebody said, "How does this movie only have 5 out of 10 on IMDb?" Which I'm not sure if that's still accurate. "It's crazy to me, but it comes of no surprise because many reviews are from guys who have never understood the way that 1, girls interacted with Barbies, 2, the chaos of their stories and narratives, and 3, that Barbies coming back into leadership is so important." Yeah, I don't know. There was one specific one I read and it was hilarious, but I don't remember what I did with it. Yeah, these reviews are way too positive. It's like we didn't watch the same movie. Although, I don't know if you saw that Ben Shapiro did a 45-minute video review of the Barbie movie and essentially shit-talked it for 45 minutes. And I think he caught some Barbie dolls on fire or something. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Oh my
I
God.
want to watch it, but it's just funny. And he's getting a lot of hate. He's like, how is people are saying, like, how is Ben Shapiro gonna, do a 45-minute hate review on the Barbie movie that's meant for like 12-year-old girls or something? Like, did you even watch the movie? At least Ben Shapiro did. This movie's not meant for 12-year-old little girls. I don't know who this movie's meant for, really. Not for me. Not exactly sure who the target audience was, but I don't know.
Nostalgia?
Then give me more.
Yeah.
Give me way more. Give me the camp. I guess they did have the camper, didn't they? I had that. I had the Barbie camper.
Yeah. Briefly. Only brief, but...
Very brief. Just give me more of that.
Yeah, it's a little... It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, well, I thank you for watching this film with me.
Thank you.
Thank you for going to the movies with me.
You're welcome.
Do you want to give me your budget guess?
Oh, that's funny. I forgot the 2 zeros. I put 2 million instead of 200. 2 million it is.
All right, 2 million.
No, I'm just kidding. It's 200. I did forget the 200.
200. Okay.
Is that you think that's a little high?
It's a little high, yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how much was CG and practical, because it's very plasticky, and there was a lot of costumes and a lot of people with different costumes. So it was just a lot to me.
No, I get that. And yeah, and it is hard to tell what is CG, because this is where CG starts to work, because, if you can kind of embrace the fakeness of what CG brings to the table, it kind of makes sense here.
Yes.
So, I didn't bring it up, but I wanted to mention John Cena being in this film. Shout out.
John Cena was in this film?
He was the merman. He was a mermaid.
Nope.
Yep. He was. Yeah, so there's actually a little bit of a range here. It says, I guess it's not really, hasn't been discussed, but it says 128 to 145 million. So you're a little high, which I can't blame you. It's almost a 2-hour movie. It 2/3 of it are a lot of CG. I think all the floor was CG. A lot of the objects were real. Those parts of those houses were definitely real. That car sure looked real, I think.
I think the car was real. I think I was reading somewhere that it was also like remote controlled or something.
Yeah, I liked how slow it went.
I know.
That was cute. There's some cute things in this movie, but it's just so... it feels kind of pointless. I don't feel like the point that they make at the end hits hard enough to kind of make up for all the pointlessness.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not into it. I'm not into it, and I'm gonna try probably for the next few days to try to find something else I like in this movie. But it's not hitting. It's just not hitting. It doesn't hit on. It's hitting. It's trying to hit on some human condition problems, and it's just not. It just doesn't understand completely how to get that across. And hearing that this movie, in essence, has been in production for a while, tells me that Greta Gerwig's vision on this was not fleshed out like it would have been if it was hers, like Lady Bird and Little Women. I know Little Women's based on the book, but the idea is mostly fleshed out already for you there. And Lady Bird might be a book too, but I'm not sure. A book can help, flesh out a cinematic if you just run with a specific thread in the movie, like The Shining, where we focus on a character. But yeah, man, I'm disappointed. Renfield was a disappointment. I was pretty disappointed by Renfield.
Yeah, I was too.
I like this more
not
than
as
Renfield.
bad as this.
I like this more than Renfield.
You like this more than Renfield?
Yeah, it's trying. I guess the effort, it goes a little bit for me. I get some mileage out of the effort over Renfield. So
yeah, I think Renfield had funnier bits for me, and then you have Nick Cage's Dracula to kind of elevate it more than this film.
Yeah.
Although I can't get past the world they created here.
It's cool.
I just wish they would have done
It's
more
cool.
with it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you for watching this movie. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of The Filmsteins. We had a blast talking about this.
Didn't.
You didn't? Oh, okay. Well, you'll have a blast talking about the next film. For sure.
Really?
I hope so.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of The Filmsteins. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/filmsteins, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmsteins signing off.